Hello everybody and welcome to the Stanley Parable. Let's just go. Probably should have turned on subtitles. End is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, or is loading. Loading. An inched. Come on. This is the best trick ever to making it load faster, is to spin your mouse like crazy. Yes.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at the desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, every month, of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-eating, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Or was he? That's the question.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
Wonder what?
Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Did he? Good to know. 1 second, guys. Yes, 1 achievements. Oh, is there subtitles? It's probably. There we go. Now let's carry on.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I don't know.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe he did. Sure, this is recording. Okay, good. It is.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
All right. Saving power. Hello.
When Stanley came to a set of 2
Hey.
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Left is this one, right? Good, because I don't usually know my left from right. It's kind of sad.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
No.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Maybe. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. There's a whiteboard manager? Really? Rep Franz. Office party? I wasn't there for the office party. No! And I don't have feet. Oh, this is terrible. Tomorrow complete today's unfinished agenda IDs. Okay. Future was history, tomorrow's now. New coffee machine. Moved my desk. Hire someone to fire the paper synergizing guy. Huh. Huh. Okay, work harder, work harder. Cool. Stuff is everywhere. Don't get fired. Ooh, broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Really? You sure about that? There's a wrench here.
No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Alright, fine, you win.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. I don't even know why I'm trying. The door's locked, huh? Looks like the person, the assistant of the boss isn't here either.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Great.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
Yeah.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Really?
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Yeah, amazing
He stepped
indeed.
into the newly opened passageway.
One moment. Oh, come on, Stanley. Are you so talentless that you can't even play a piano? Really? Every time I click, it sounds like I'm typing. Let's push this red button. I wonder what's down here. Besides a loading screen. Move faster, loading screen.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Really?
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
I have no idea.
This question would not go unanswered for long.
Good to know.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Eeny, meeny, 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 meeny. This one says escape, though.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. Of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Yep. I don't think I want to die just yet. Well, there's nothing better to do than push this.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I don't know, but we're going to find out. We're going to press this. Going to press this button. We're going to find out what's going on here, and
Now,
no.
brought to life, their true nature revealed.
No.
Each bore the number of an employee in a building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Whoa. Wow. Two people were fired. Interesting.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it
Yeah.
couldn't be true.
It probably
Had
is.
Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job?
I don't
That
know.
his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Probably. But we won't accept that, will we?
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own
Yeah.
life in someone else's control?
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
I don't know.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I don't know. Sam, go find me. Tell her mom wants her.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yes, he will.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
It's not open yet. Oh, now it is.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yay. Good. In the next video, guys, we will continue with the Stanley Parable.